All right, I actually skipped these. I don't know why. So this is going to be a quick video. All right, negative pi over 12, obviously not on the unit circle. So if I want to use sum or difference, what I do is write a bunch of radians over 12, and I look for two that are, say, 1 apart. And sometimes there's more than one choice. Like I could do these two, right? Because they're 1 apart. So are these, 9 and 8 are 1 apart. And all of these simplify to things that are on the unit circle. That's why I'm choosing them. I decided to subtract this way. You could add with a negative too, but I want to get a negative pi over 12, so I put my 3 pi in that. All right, and then we'll look for the subtraction trig identity. Half angle, notice again, why do we call it the half angle? Because negative pi over 12 is half of something that I know are in the unit circle. So I need to double it because what I have is half. So the name comes from the fact that what you have is half of what you want. What you want is double that. So you double it to use a trig identity. All right. Now, I don't know if this is the same cheat sheet that is posted in our class or not. It should be similar. So on the sign of alpha, what are we doing? Minus beta. So minus is on the bottom here, right? Sign of alpha minus. So notice on this one, it matches. So if you're doing sine alpha minus beta, come over here, the negative's on the bottom. Notice if you're doing cosine, it changes. So if it's plus on top, over here, it's minus. But we're doing sine and we are doing the minus. And if it's minus here, it's minus over here. The other one we're doing is the half angle of a sine. So I have to pick the, I don't know what my sine is. I got to pay attention to the original, but then it's going to be this right here. Okay. Sometimes this is written half parentheses 1 minus cosine theta 2. So it varies. All right. So there's my trig identity sheets. All right, so let's go. Now again, I'm going to just write alpha and beta. This is what pi over 4 when I simplify. So alpha is pi over 4. And divide. This is what pi over 3 when I divide. Pi over 3. So I'm just dividing by 3, divide by 3, divide by 4, divide by 4 to simplify. All right. Now, I just write them up there because I do not want to accidentally screw these up. So I know that underneath those, these guys eat angles. They spit out a ratio, right? The input is an angle. The output is a ratio. So I know I'm going to get these ratios. Okay, so let's look at, let's do pi over 4 first. That's easy. Square root of 2 over 2, square root of 2 over 2. So the cosine is square root of 2 over 2 for that guy, and the sine is square root of 2 over 2. All right, pi over 3 is up here, okay, because that would be like 2 pi over 6, like 1 pi over 6, 2. It's right here. And that looks like it's over a half, right? Up about 0.9, which is square root of 3 over 2. Okay, so I don't have to look at my unit circle. If you need to look at it, that's fine. If you are in a face-to-face class with me, probably would never look at it because you just know it because you go over half up 0.9. So hopefully some of you got that from my video. All right, we'll see. Cosine is over a half and sine is up square root of 3 over 2. All right, so now you just have to simplify. So multiply these across. I'll come over here. That's what? Square root of 2 over 4 minus, multiply these across, square root of 6, radicals with radicals, numbers with numbers, 4. And then we can combine that, square root of 2 minus square root of 6 all over common denominator of 4. And I'm done. Okay, and that answer is kind of common, like square root of negative square root of 2 plus square root of 6 over 4. Those happen a lot. All right, okay, let's look at this one. All right, so here's my thing. And again, like I said earlier, some cheat sheets have this as half, and then they have 1 minus cosine theta. So I've seen it both ways. Doesn't matter. All right, so let's see. Again, I like to write plus or minus, and we'll figure out the sign here in a second. Instead of that, I would put my ratio there because I'm going to shove a ratio in there. Now, again, I don't know the ratio for negative pi over 12 because it's half of something I do know, which is hence the name. I know negative pi over 6. Okay, so negative pi over 6 is going down pi over 6. I'm over about 0.9, so that's square root of 3 over 2. I'm down a half. All right, what am I doing here? This says to, when you're doing sine of a half angle, you switch to cosine of the thing that is doubled. So my cosine here is what? Square root of 3 over 2. So I'm going to put that ratio in there. Okay. I'm going to get a common denominator, 2 and 2. So I get 2 over 2 minus what? Square root of 3 over 2, all over a half. Now I'm going to, let me figure out the sign on this next go around. I'm going to take 2 minus square root of 3 all over 2, and then I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal. Oopsie, that should be dividing by 2. So when I multiply, it becomes a half. Okay. Then I get our numerator, I get 2 minus square root of 3, because times 1 isn't going to do anything. Now, this is going to be the square root of 4, which is 2. Now, sign, I still need to decide, where am I? I am at negative pi over 12. So negative pi over 12 is, you know, really just barely down. But again, it's positive negative, right? And what am I doing? My original problem was I want the sign of that. So the sign is your y value there. It's negative. So right there. Okay. All right. And you could check those on a calculator. You could type this in radians, hit enter, and then you could convert like this to a decimal, see if they match, convert that to a decimal, see if it matches, and obviously all three of them. And again, if I check, these two should be mathematically the same unless I screwed up, which, you know, I don't know, it's late at night when I'm making this video, so that's completely possible, but hopefully not. All right, hopefully this helps.